Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Black Women Behold podcast. We are your hosts, Marquia, Kim, and Ednesha, and we are Black women working on being whole. This is our ninth episode,
Whoop,
ladies.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Number nine. Engine number nine. And today
Okay.
we're going to talk about sistership, or what you all usually call a sisterhood, but for us, we've coined the term sistership because we cool like that. We can make up words. But before we even get into what sistership means to us, all of those fun things, ladies, I wanted to check in with you and see where we're at from the last time we chatted and know what you all are working on this week. So, Kim, what you working on, friend?
You know what? I am actually working. It's so funny we were talking about some working out earlier and no ass, but I got COVID bunkie. First of all,
Oh,
bring back the word bunkie. I think a lot of people's muscles have atrophied, right? During
hmm
the pandemic, if you stayed home. But my butt is not in the pants area where it used to be. So I've been walking up and down stairs. I've been trying to get this
Wait, so where
together.
is it? Like I'm
It's,
so confused by this.
what do you
If it ain't in
mean?
the pants area, in the
Like,
pants, where
it's
is
probably
it?
a little lower. I don't
Oh
know.
damn.
Listen, the bump, bump, bump is not there no more. And I
uh-oh.
was like, what's going on?
Uh-oh. I don't
So,
like that.
I'm working on my core because,
Okay.
I don't want sciatica anymore, but I also don't want COVID bunkie. And that's where I am. So,
So what we gonna do?
get on my
I
cake.
might be lost for words a little bit, but I just
How we
What?
gonna fix it, friend? How we gonna fix it?
Listen, I can't do, squats with your people right now because of my, my leg, but I'm walking up and down stairs. I'm
Okay.
building up my core muscle, my glutes.
Okay.
I'm
I want to
working on
say
my
thank you for your
fitness.
honesty.
I'm working on my fitness.
Come on, Lizzo. Working on your
Fitness
fitness.
in my witness. That's it. But yo, bring back the word bunkie. I've been thinking about that all week. Like I've been wearing like leggings. Like, all right. Like I'd like to wear something else, but the dresses don't look the same. So I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Summer's coming.
I
You
just
right.
appreciate your honesty. I appreciate you getting on a podcast. We don't know how many people are gonna listen, but we know it's gonna be a lot. And
Ah,
you just said that your butt ain't exactly in your pants. And yeah, so
it's
I
not at the
appreciate
same
that.
position that it was like February 2020.
Got it.
So you're
Got it.
like, things got a little looser, less muscle, so I think everybody who's didn't work out or didn't do the thing they were supposed to do during the pandemic is feeling my pain. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm certainly feeling the pain. I don't know who else is, but I definitely am. So that's where I am. What about you, Anisha?
I think I'm working on a couple of things. But first, I want to say that I'm trying to have a hot girl summer. I'm working on what that looks like. My niece told me because I'm married, it's going to be lukewarm. But
Ah,
I told her we need to redefine what hot girl summer is. So for me, I am fully vaccinated, which means I'm trying to be out and about. That's all I'm saying. Do I want to be at the cookout with 100 people? No.
Oh God.
However, you could give me the cookout with 10 to 15. I will feel good with that. What I'm working on is figuring out what it feels like to be more social with more people around, be around more people, right? Because I've been in the house for so long. I do therapy sessions one on one. So, like, I'm not really talking to, too many people at one time. So, I think for me, I'm working on figuring out what's comfortable for me. Being out in the world a little bit more, pushing myself to see what's comfortable. So yeah. And the other thing that I am working on is prioritizing my fitness goals. And I think at this point, my goal is just to keep moving, really. Like, I think I'm at the point where I don't really need to lose any weight. Like, I just can just tighten up, but I just want to move my body. Cause again, I wasn't moving my body as much as I wanted to. So, I want to make sure whatever's going on in my life that I make sure I get my workout in. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you because we talked about Ednesha. What time are we going to tape the podcast? And you guys let me know last time that I'm able to prioritize myself and my fitness goals. So you guys let me go to my workout class today. So I went to my workout class. It was like 90 degrees. outside. However, I got it done and I feel amazing. Was I late to the podcast? Yes. Was I sweating when I got here? Yes. But I want to thank y'all for that because I felt like I didn't, last time we taped the podcast, I didn't go to my workout and I felt like I couldn't ask because it wasn't fair to you guys and the rest of your day. But you guys let me know that if that's something that's important to me, that we will all prioritize it. So thank you.
Absolutely. That's, how family works, right? And, I'm going to be like, I can't do it because I have a workout. So who am I to tell someone, no, you
I was
can't
just
work
following
out?
in your footsteps because you don't be playing. Like you send that text like, oh no, my workout is at such time. So it's going to have to be another day, another time. I can get my workout in. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it because it makes you feel good overall. So, I mean, if you feel like shit, it would impact the podcast, I think. So,
so thank you for modeling a behavior for
Yes.
me. Okay.
we
And
prioritize self over here.
yes, yes, we do. We prioritize people's needs and their
Yeah.
wants. Yes, we do. Because we're not just like podcast hosts, we're not just in, but we are friends, right? And that's what friends do. They
Yeah.
prioritize each other and their needs and their wants. So thank
Yeah, and we have like a little special friendship bubble because it's also like we can't be telling y'all like you should do this and then not practicing it because then we'd be hypocrites and trash. But yeah,
and we're working on not being hypocrites and trash
definitely.
every day, all day. It's like try not to be a hypocrite, try not to be trash.
It's literally part of the whole piece. What am I working on? I think I'm working on preparing for the school year to be over because you know what I'm tired of? Going to work.
Them damn kids. Oh no, it work. Okay, sorry.
But you might not be wrong. But yeah, it's a lot. Pandemic school has been tough. And this is a different demographic than what I'm used to. I used to work with high school students who you could definitely be like, yo, bro, you're being annoying. And they'd be like, all right, bet. Middle schoolers, you can't do that. You
You gonna
cannot.
crush their soul, girl.
Right. So it's a different ball game dealing with middle schoolers and also in a panty. So it's a lot. They don't like to wear masks. They asking me, "Well, aren't you vaccinated? So why do you care?"
Oh
And
my
I'm just
goodness.
like, "Okay, but you're not. So how is this going to work for you?" So I think we all need a break. Then we can come back, meet in the middle and start over in the fall. But right now I need to be able to be outside by somebody's water and rest. So I'm just working
Mm.
on making it through because
Rest, girl.
your girl is at capacity.
And how many more weeks do you have left?
School last day of school is June 18th. We almost
Juneteenth.
there. June
Okay,
18th. Yeah, right before
Juneteenth
June 19th.
time.
Yeah, man.
Woo. That's
So,
listen, giving you your freedom. They let you
yes.
go. There's
Hashtag
a
give us
parallel
us
there.
free. Give us free, please. So,
Yo,
You took it back
papers.
with that one. What movie was that again?
Amistad.
Amistad.
Yes.
Give us
Us free.
free. Please. My educators, I know you feel it. It's a lot.
Shout out to all the teachers and administrators. I feel for y'all. Enjoy your summer. Don't do summer school. Go lay by the
No.
beach. Do whatever.
If those kids got to go to summer school, it's on them. That don't got nothing to do with y'all. Say no. Where's your
Sorry for the
boundaries at
snort.
this summer? Give up those boundaries this summer. I'm no. That's it. Full sentence. Stop. No, I ain't gonna be able to do it.
See you in the fall. But yeah. So I guess we'll get into the content of today. We kind of gave a little segue talking about how our friendship works. But as we're brought up, we're taught this is your friend, right? It's never really a clear definition as a kid, right? Your parents like, oh, that's your friend. And like as you get to be an adult, you're like, oh, it's a little bit more than just I happen to know you and have semi-pleasant thoughts about you in certain interactions. So I think the best way, right, to define friendship is thinking about like what it means to you to be a friend and who taught you how to be a friend, right? So let's start with Woody. Hopefully y'all know who that is, but if not, that's Ednesha.
Yeah. Listen, just like every other black person, I got a nickname. All right. Like I got 6 other siblings. We all got nicknames. So that's my nickname. Woody. It's out there now.
So yeah, girl, who taught you how to be a friend, and what does I guess being a friend mean to you?
Who taught me how to be a friend? I would have to say my sister, my older sister. And I say that she taught me how to be a friend because she always had friends. So I always remember in the house, and she's like a good 8 years older than me or something. So, but she had like besties. And can I tell you that these girls are still her besties 30 years later? Right. So these are people she was always with. I think what I remember the most is laughter. There was always fun times with them, right? I never really heard them argue too much. I saw them hang out with each other all the time. They did homework together because they were from like high school. And so I feel like she taught me how to be a friend. I'm not really sure what she modeled for me, but I think that she modeled how to be there for someone. Like I will always see her there for them. Like when they called or when they came over, there was always talk. But when I think about who taught me how to be a friend, I might have to say it was my brother because he was my first friend. He's 2 years older than me, and that's the person I spent the most time with. So we would fight, we would argue. When one of us got in trouble, the other one was trying to get us out of trouble. And we talked about everything because I have a love of sports because of him. So I think that like there's also that commonality that comes in with a friend, right? Like generally we meet friends at like school or work or somewhere where we spend a lot of time. So he was a person I probably spent the most time with. Um, Couple of years ago, I saw a picture of us on my first birthday and I sent it to him and I was like, yo, you were my first friend. Like you were the first person that I hung out with and I loved in that way. And so, yeah, I think so I guess my brother was my first friend. And I think my sister kind of taught me how to be a friend, kind of like modeling behavior for me. And so, I really appreciated that. What about you, Kim?
My first friend is actually my cousin, Toogie. That's her nickname.
Yeah,
So,
every black family has some nicknames. Go ahead.
yeah, going back to nicknames. So, growing up in my family, I'm the eldest of the set of cousins. My brother, who's 9 years older than me, is the youngest of like the next set of older cousins. So I had like my older cousins and like all the adults all to myself up until like the age of 6. Like, you go to school, whatever, school was, I was like what, 6, so kindergarten or whatever. They didn't have pre-K. I was just hanging out with older people. My cousins were taking me. And my cousin Toogie moved from down south up to New York. And I remember like being really jealous because I was like, who the fuck is this? Because now I had to share everything. And then and if I wanted to get something, she had to get it. And so, you know, everyone around us, like I remember my cousin Dirk taking us to the movies, and me and her got into a fight over a jacket. And she swung the jacket at me and hit me in my eye, and we started fighting. And he was
Mm.
like, "This is not what family does. This is not what you do." So everyone had a place in our lives in teaching us how to be friends or how to like love one another. Because I think friendship is about love, and it's um, and as we got older, again, she was the one who came into school a year after me. So we were always through, high school in the same school. And so I have someone that I grew up with, right? Like a sister. And so it was just a very interesting thing. Like for me and her, we have very different life paths, but we still like stay connected and we talk or whatever. Um, but she was the one. I mean, and then, everyone else was kind of like modeling that friendship. Like you said, you saw people's friends or whatever. I had crushes on my cousin's friends because I was like, oh, Corky, oh, this guy. So, or my cousin's boyfriends, it was just like a really interesting thing because I got different messages about what it means to be friends depending on who it was. And so I think I kind of had to find it out for myself, but take those things and bump them up against relationships. What about
Mhm.
you, Marquia?
Let's see. Who taught me how to be a friend? Probably my mom. So I was a firstborn, and my sister that came after me is 2 years younger than me. My mom says I asked for a sister. I don't know if I did. But definitely like watching my parents. But my first friend, ironically enough, my cousin went to Siena, and one of his classmates' name was Mark Brown. And Mark and I became friends. He was like a college student, but like he was like my favorite person. Like he would take me everywhere with him. I loved House Party Soundtrack. Ain't My Type of Hype was my favorite song at like 3 years old.
That
That's
was the
so cute.
jam. I can like dance that joint right now.
You
Like if
look
people can see
so
real good.
good.
Hey.
But you ain't
Ain't
my
my
type
type
of
of
hype,
hype,
baby.
baby. That true?
No, it was
No,
Full
Force
Force.
MDs. Oh no,
Full
Full
Force.
Force. Okay, yeah.
Full force.
Oh, I'm showing my age. Okay, go ahead.
Ooh, but what does it say about me, girl? It's my favorite song.
Boy.
You
Why
were
were they
three. I
trying
was
to
definitely not three, but go ahead.
why were they trying to pass them off as 17-year-olds? Y'all ain't no damn high school. You got a straight on mustache. You look like somebody
Looking like
daddy.
old man, looking like somebody's uncle.
Yes.
um yeah, so Mark was like just always like really cool, and like I think I always like secretly wanted a brother. And then also like my cousin Lenny was really good at showing like friendship and support. He was older, and I always wanted like an older person to show me stuff because firstborn, you expected to know everything. But someone to like show you the way. And then my sisters, we have our friendship. It's probably nuanced to other people, but we have, our semblance of what a friendship looks like. So yeah, definitely like shout out to Mark Brown and cousin Lenny. Lenny will listen to this. So hey Lenny.
Hey,
And
Lanny.
Hey, Lenny.
yeah.
You still being supportive after all these years. Listening to the podcast. We
That's
appreciate it.
that's my guy. That is
Okay,
definitely my
girl.
guy. So yeah. But interesting, right? So you all mentioned mostly like your women friendships. I mentioned males. So, as women, we get these programming, I guess if you will, about the nature of a female friendship, a woman friendship, that women are catty or that, you can't necessarily trust women or don't bring women around that. Have y'all received those messages as well? Or did you see them dispelled in your friendships that you have? How did that work?
I have to say, let me just first say I am grateful that I've had good friends throughout the years. I would say I'm not sure of the negative messages, but I will say that my mom really didn't have friends. Like I
Mm,
remember that she had like a best friend who was like our godmother, and then they got into it and the friendship ended. And I was pretty young when it ended, but I know I can remember not seeing my mom have another like bestie again. I feel like her kids became her like friends, and my father and her had always been really close. And I saw her more with male friends. Like my father's cousin was really, they were really tight, right? So I didn't never seen her with any other women friends. So I'm not sure what I deduced from that, but I do remember that very clearly. But it never stopped me, and she never said anything. Like she never verbalized, like, "Hey, women aren't shit" or nothing like that. Like she never said anything crazy about women. But I
Like, we
did
gonna
notice
take your
that she
man,
never had
girl.
a right. She never had another female friend. I do remember that.
mhm.
Um, so I don't think I got any negative messaging. And I remember again, my sister always had really good friends. And when you talk about first friends, like other than family members, I remember I had a best friend in kindergarten, and me and her lasted throughout like after college, which is a pretty good run,
It is.
right? Like I have another girl from first grade. Me and her still talk today. Like I still kick it with her today. So like I feel like I've had really good friendships, and I didn't really get that negative kind of messaging. I think the women in my life had good friends. But I'm pretty sure that there are people, and I've talked to women who's talked about like their moms did not have good relationships with women, and they kind of passed that down to them. But I am very grateful that that wasn't my journey. So I've always trusted women. Um, I've never had a friend betray me in any, real way. So again, I'm grateful for that. So I never really got any negative messages. What about you, Marquia?
Let's see. I don't think my mom ever was like, watch out for girls, but I think it was kind of implied, like when you would tell certain stories about like, oh, like so and so did this to me, and my mom was like, oh, you know how girls are, like that was kind of like the energy for it. Definitely have experienced some like shitty female friendships. Um, but in my older age, I will say after like I turned 30, a lot of the women that I have around me are like genuinely supportive and are like very much there, which was definitely like a turn of events. I also think that I was a person that was I was definitely like self-conscious. I won't say that I didn't. I don't know if I saw it for myself all the way. I think other people saw it and were like, okay, like she's cool with playing the background. And I do think once I got to a space where I was like, no, this is me. This is full out me and I'm here. That definitely played a role in how my female friend dynamics did work out. I will say that. Definitely had some people that were like, well, oh, so now you're feeling yourself. Oh, it's like all, and it's like, wait, girl, like, wouldn't you want me to not be the friend that didn't feel good about herself when we were out in group settings? Like, what was that about?
Mm,
So that's
right.
definitely
What's
interesting.
that about?
Right. What is that about? Not you being Molly.
Mm.
Because y'all know I'm ready for insecure. Slight segue. But yeah, like not you being Molly and wanting me to be the ancient friend so that you always feel good. Like
Right.
that's
That
not
is a real
cool.
thing.
You're not nobody's prop. Little sidekick. Everybody needs their time to shine. Marquia, you do not need to be anybody's background singer because everybody deserves their time to shine. And if we can't support each other in that, and if it's always got to be you in the spotlight, that's narcissism. And you always need somebody to prop you up. You're not somebody's prop. I'm over that.
Agreed.
Right. Everybody should get a chance to be fucking Beyonce. They don't always got to be Michelle. Like, no.
Okay.
Everybody gets to be at the front of the line sometimes, damn it. And if I can't be at the front in this relationship, then I'm good. If you need to be the Beyonce of the relationship all the time, I can't deal with you. That's a headache. You're not really a friend.
Even Beyonce lets the other girls sing sometimes. Like,
That's not a safe space. That's not a safe space. But we'll talk about safe space and stuff later. But that's not a safe space for me. Like, for real.
I think, in terms of negative messages about being friends with girls, okay, so this is gonna sound really crazy, but I think it's always been like a thing. Like I've seen like my cousins like have fist fights with their friends, they're like their girlfriends, and then they make up and then they're friends. And so I think I have very like a spectrum of examples with women being friends. And so I didn't register them as negative. That's just what it was. That's just what I saw, you know. And I think for me, I don't see things as negative. Like you got to do something really bad in a friendship in order for me to stop being a friend with you. And I think that's a negative thing I've received. Like through thick or thin, somebody is your friend. And you're like, well, maybe it's toxic and harmful in this. Nobody ever tells you when to leave a friend, right? Like, so I think that's the thing for me.
That's a real topic that we could do a whole podcast on, right? Like when to leave a friendship.
mhm.
It's very similar to a relationship, right? Because you can feel really indebted to that person and feel like we have a history. And so I should stay around for the history. But it's like, do we still have those commonalities? Do we still have that fun? You know what I mean? Do I still feel comfortable around you? Or has that changed and I'm just staying around for the history? So I think it is something important to talk about. Maybe we'll do a whole podcast on when to stay, when to go.
Should I leave? Should I go? I don't know. That is definitely the name of that podcast episode. Look out for that when it comes. But Kim, you did give us a great segue into talking about what a healthy friendship looks like, right? You just talked about how some of your friends might be busting heads and they'd be like, all right, cool, like we're good now. Other people might give a silent treatment. And then that's how they work through their things. But what does that look like for you? And then do you have expectations of your friends? Like if you're my friend, you are a friend because you do XYZ thing, or are there no expectations? Just like you're here and that's all I need from you. What does that look like for y'all? Kim?
Um, so I make friends easily. Um, I mean, after like a one time meeting someone, I'm like, oh, my friend. So I'm that person. Like I'll come home like there's business cards and things everywhere, like notes and napkins and things, and I've exchanged numbers and text messages. So I have to do a better job of acquaintance versus friend. But I think for a healthy friendship, I think that different people meet those needs. For me, in terms of what healthy is, because I have friends for whom like I don't necessarily feel like I am always a priority. But then there's other friends where they're like, you are my priority, right? Like, the the back and forth of stuff. I think for me, it's very interesting how different people fit different needs that I have of friendship. Like I expect friends to ask me how I'm doing, to check in on me, to provide support, to not always, need to read my mind, but if I mention something, you should know me well enough to know that maybe that's a problem or an issue. To ask me questions because sometimes I'm very like I keep a lot of stuff to myself because
Mhm.
I don't like to, talk about my problems and things. And so sometimes you got to pull that out of me like, okay, listen, we don't have time for this. Tell me what's going on. Right. Like, and so I think, yeah, I think for me, like, I'm pretty low key. I'm pretty easygoing about friendships. Like, if somebody doesn't call me, I'm not like, oh, this person didn't call me, and so I don't have expectations of people to constantly check on me. Right. Check in when you feel like it. Ask me how I'm doing. If I need something, offer it and I'll do the same. What
I
about
like
you?
that.
What about you, Marquia?
What about me? Do I have expectations? I like reciprocity. The older I've gotten, the more I think I've been clear about like this is how I show up for you. In theory, I'd expect you to show up for me in that same way. Now, with that being said, similar to Kim, I do not have an issue with people wanting to be my friend. However, I don't always categorize everyone as friend anymore. Like I'll be like, oh, that's my homegirl, or this girl that I know, or what have you, because everyone is not your friend. Well, that's one thing I will tell you. My mom did tell me very early on. She's like, everybody's not your friend, and if you are able to have 5 friends in this lifetime that are genuinely there, then you're lucky. So there is some truth to that. The older I get, with that. Like I said, my main expectation is reciprocity. Like treat me how I treat you. And that's it. Cause I show up for the people in my life, and not necessarily you have to show up in the same way that I show up, but like if I know like you're not a everyday person, but you do reach out, you do make sure I'm okay, you notice if something is wrong, then that's very appreciated. And if you don't, that's cool too. We just figure out what box you go in, and that's cool. Like it's no beef, but maybe we not friends, and that's okay too. What about you, Woody?
So I need a lot of things. Now let me stop. I need a couple of things. So I think over the years I figured out I need good communication. I need that in my intimate partner relationship, and I also need that in my friendship. Because I can't read your mind, and I don't want to. But I don't expect you to be able to verbalize everything, right? But if we have a disagreement, I do expect you to come and talk to me, right? Because things get taken out of hand, right? Like really quickly, like there might be the tone of my voice was upsetting to you. I can't have you ready to flip out. Like I need you to be like, Ednesha, the tone of your voice was upsetting. Like, can we start again? And I'll say, okay, I apologize. Like I'm fine with apologizing. I'm good with acknowledging when I am wrong. I'm good with acknowledging my part in things. So I just need you to be able to communicate and do the same. So I think that that has become really important for me. I need you to be compassionate because I have a lot going on sometimes. Like I need you to be able to empathize and sympathize with me. And you could give me some tough love, but don't be too tough. Cause I can't lie, my mom and daddy wasn't tough. And so I don't do well with like that super rough love. Like, get your shit together. Yo, like you could give me a little bit of that in jest, right? But if I come to you, I need you to listen to me. I need you to hear me. I need you to figure out, like, okay, how do I go to her and tell her this thing? It may upset her. So, like, how do I say it in a way that it lands pretty good? I just want you to take me into consideration because I'll take you into consideration. And I would like you to be available sometimes. I think that as an adult, I don't expect availability in the way I did when I was younger. I can't front. When we was younger, it was like, what you mean you can't come? What you mean you can't do this or that with me? Like, girl, we 19. What else you gotta do? Right? So I think that I know that I can't be the focus. People got kids, people got ailing parents. Like it's so many things, husbands and wives, like people have so many other things, right? So I can wait my turn. Um, and I think that support me. Support me. If I'm doing whatever I'm doing, be supportive of it. Tell me like, girl, you're doing a good job. Because as a black woman, there are many times that we walk through this earth not feeling like we are enough. And I might be having one of those not enough days. So I need to know that somewhere, somehow, I have somebody that's going to be like, girl, you got this. I know you do. Like, I believe in you. I see this thing in you. I'm proud of you. I just need to know that you can say that to me. And we can throw some jokes in there because I'm jokey jokey all day. So give me some jokes. Give me a little tough love, but not too tough. And be protective of me. Like if somebody talking shit about me, be like, nah, that's not who she is. Like, you might have caught her on a bad day, but she really not that bad. If I'm talking badly about myself, because we all have that little bit of negative self-talk. If I'm doing that, be like, no, 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 that's not who you are. You might just be having a bad day, baby. Like you don't say you ain't shit. Cause you are. Like you are the shit, actually. Right? Like I need that friend. Cause I think we all have these moments where we can really be rough on ourselves. We can be rougher on ourselves than anyone else. And I need you to just come through with that positive word. So I might be a little high maintenance when it comes to friendships. But what I will say,
Not the
word,
cackle, Kim. Sorry, guys.
you know, but similar to Kim, I make friends easily. I don't always know how to maintain them because life has gotten really crazy and busy now. I don't know always how to check in with someone who's not kind of on the list. Like, there's those people that you always talk to. So it's easier to remember to text that person or give that person a call. But someone who, like, you've met and you had a really good time with, like, sometimes that's hard for me to be able to kind of maintain that. And I meet women and men that I really like. And I'm like, damn, I really want to be your friend. Like I asked this girl a couple, like maybe like a year ago. I was like, yo, I would like to be your friend. And she was like, looked at me like, are we still asking that? And this other girl, I put on a note, like, will you be my friend? Check yes, no, or maybe. Like, cause I was working with her and I really liked her. So like, I do make friends. It's just harder for me to maintain them. But yeah.
Well, you made a great point because I was going to ask, how do you maintain your friendships?
Mm.
So I'll give you a minute to think about that, on how you maintain the ones that you do maintain. And I guess I'll take this first and then I'll hand it to Kim. As far as maintaining relationships, I try to give what people need. Like I have some friends that need a check-in constantly. So I'll do that. That's not my
As you
preferred.
have hit me with the text though. Like, what do
Yes.
you need? And I can't front. Like, I love it, but I love that you put a motherfucker on the spot. Like, well, what you need? Like, I'm not gonna be over here trying to figure it out, Woody. Like, I don't have time. So I'm gonna need you to tell me because that'll be easier so I can direct my energy.
Right,
So
exactly, because
yes.
me trying things and throwing things at the wall, hoping that they stick, like, we're wasting time. What do you need? I can do that. If you are like, "I need you to do X," cool. I need you to not talk to me right now, cool. Give me a clear directive. I've got you. I have some friends that I need to force myself on them because they will not take care of themselves, and be like, "Hey, you told me last week that you were having a really shitty week and you were really depressed and you weren't doing anything. So, hello, how are you? Are you going outside? Did you eat today? Let me know." And I have other friends that we catch up about like TV. Like I was reaching out, my good friend Trey. We're watching The Circle. If y'all have watched it, don't comment and ruin it. I'm not done yet with this season. But like, we talk about work, we talk about everything. But right now it was like The Circle because I was watching it the other night and I was like, this is a mess. You need to watch it. He turned it on, was like, wow, bitch, this is a mess. I'm watching it. And that's like one of the ways that we connect. So it really just depends on the situation and the relationship as to how I maintain it. But I also have stopped pouring into cups that are not pouring back into mine. I'll tell you that. I ain't watering no dead plants now.
Preach.
So
Mm.
that
It
is
is
also a thing.
Sunday. Amen.
So Kim, what about you? How do you maintain your relationships, my dear?
Um, I'm all over the place.
Ooh,
So for me, I really detest doing one-on-one because I'm like, I don't have enough time to keep up with all these damn people. I like gatherings. Like I
I love
like
one-on-one
group
though.
gatherings because I get to talk to people and then it's like, "Hey, if you want to catch up, great, let's do that."
I'm actually trying to get all her friends in the room like this. Hey, I got 2 hours on a Sunday. How many of
No.
y'all can show up? So
Y'all
I
get
can see everybody and everybody can't be like, we ain't seen you, Kim. Here we go.
But it's because it just feels like it's so time consuming to keep up with people.
mm,
Again, big family, friends. I do have people I consider friends. There are people I consider acquaintances. I mean, what I've started to do is like I send like I don't send a mass text, but I send a text that has the same message. Like, "Hey friend, I'm checking on you. Let's catch up when you can. Miss you." And I'll add an extra line or the name, but I'm copying and pasting text messages because to like type a message to each person at this point is like ridiculous. I'm like I can't keep track of stuff. I've got 3 jobs, right? Black woman
I'm
be
about
whole
to
by 9
steal
to
that.
5 and fan mom.
Not a text template.
Look, I'm about to steal that text template, yo, and I'm gonna send it to you.
Listen, send it to me. I know who you oh, okay. It doesn't matter. You sent it to me, right? Like, I'm not going to question how
I
or
speak
why
to
or
you
whoever else
every
you sent
damn
it to.
day, so I don't even need to send it to your ass.
Right. But there are people who I call. There are very few people who can speak to me in the morning time. That's like Ednesha, Chanel, maybe 1 or 2 other people. Don't call me in the morning. Like that's just not gonna happen. I'm not
So I
gonna
can't
pick up the
call?
phone. You could call.
Oh, okay.
You on the morning call list.
I just felt the
You on the
way. I
morning
wasn't
call
listening.
list. But there were few people. It's not big. So
Right.
I think in terms of how I protect my time, when you're talking about the 5 friends or whatever, like the people that I spend one-on-one time with are the people that I really, really, really love because it's like it's just you and me. And we could spend hours together. Like I've spent a whole day with a friend. Like, oh my God, this was great. Didn't see him for 4 months. But that's okay because we kept up through text and every now and then a phone call. I like to do those Zoom calls with like a bunch of people. Like, let's just all get together and catch up. Also, because I think people aren't that interesting. Like, I'm not that interesting. I don't have a lot going on. What's going on with you? Oh, this or that. So it's like I don't really want to hear that from other people because sometimes there's always like, oh, your kids, your job. It's the same kind of narrative. So I think I get a little like worn down hearing the same thing all the time from people. And if it's nothing new, I just don't want to hear it. So sorry for those who may be listening if
I'm
that's
like, give me
you.
some newness. I need some like people like, why are you always in a relationship? Because I like some newness. I like
That's
something
it.
new.
But a template text to people hitting the points. Let's catch up. I tell people here I'm free this day if you want to catch up. Like I really identify days where I can check in with people. You can't just randomly call me and I pick up the phone. Like I'll look at your phone call and your text and I won't say nothing because I'm not in a space to talk to people at that moment. So
I think that's so funny because one of my really good friends, I've been texting him to set up a call. And I was like, wait a minute. Why am I trying to make an appointment? Is that how things are done now? Or is it just me? And I said this to him in the text, and he was like, yeah, we used to just call each other and hope for the best. Like, we can do that, Woody. Like, you don't got to try and make an appointment because it's not working out for the 2 of us. And I was like, is that what we do now? Do we have to make an appointment with people because people are just that busy? It's like when I call, I actually want to get you. So let me figure out what time that's going to be. Because if I call 2 or 3 times and I don't get you, I might start taking things personal. I might have a whole story in my head about why you're not answering. I don't want to do that to myself or our friendship. So can
but
we
you're
just make
not
an appointment?
right. Right, because people are not taking into account other people's time, like especially parents or whatever, work. There's so much. I don't want you to make assumptions about my time, but I always tell people I'm free these evenings. I will share my calendar with people like, "Oh, you want to see my calendar? Then you can
No.
see when I'm free."
Your calendar is
It's
overwhelming,
very
B.
anxiety
Like
inducing.
that shit is so anxiety inducing looking at your calendar. I don't want to see your calendar. I need you to just tell me your free time. Because if I see that joint, I'm gonna be like, I can never see my friend. I guess it's over. I'll see you in the fall.
That's it. So I have to
That's
act
it.
accordingly. Like I'll give you 3 times I'm free. I'll give you a morning, an afternoon, or evening, whatever, a weekend. I'm free this weekend. Let's go do it. So, I realize I have to do a good job of that because I've set it up in a way that people don't think I'm available. Half the time I'm not. Me and Anisha were working on Saturday. I got over there at 12. I didn't get home till 11. When the hell am I have time to have conversation with somebody? I took a break to do something related to another thing that I work with, and then we went back to work. Look at what we're doing today. I didn't go to Jersey and party because I got work to do. I saw you this morning, so Chanel was the only one who could like get me to disrupt my work time. So it's that kind of thing.
And you did it kicking and screaming.
I did. I didn't want to do that shit, but I did because that's my boo. That's my sister. And that's my godson. And I think what's very interesting is me and Anisha, our friends, we're talking about sistership. We haven't brought up our friendship at all during this conversation. So we definitely got to get into that. But, how do you maintain, your relationship?
How do I maintain my relationships? I don't have the text template, but what I do is no, I do reach out. Like I reach out to people. I think that how do I maintain it is that honesty. There it is. I try and be honest about where I am in my life and what is going on because I never want someone to take it personal about why they're not talking to me or seeing me. So I try and be real about, listen, I'm now taking care of dad. I got a whole, relationship. Like I got all of these things going on. I love you. I wish we could do more. And when I have the time, I reach out. I do a really good job now of when I have a moment, I just call my friend and hope for the best, right? Some of them, I'm trying to make appointments, like I said. Other people, I'm just like bump it. I know in the morning that this person's a morning person. I know what time they go to work. So I'm just going to call them before they go to work and I'm going to kick it with them now. So I think maintaining this for me, just kind of keeping that good communication going, and trying to be consistent as I possibly can. And when I can't, I'm gonna let you know why I'm not being consistent. So I think that me just being more verbal is how I maintain my friendships. And when we get together, you're gonna have a good time with me. Let me be real clear that it's gonna be a fucking ball. So then you're gonna want to do it again. That's how I maintain my relationships. Like, oh my God, Woody is fun. Yeah, I'm fun. So you're gonna want to hang out with me again. I ain't gonna be no Debbie Downer. Even if I'm having the worst day, the mask that I put on is stupid. My joint is sick, my mask. Okay, I could have been crying in the closet. When you see me, I'm like, party over here. Let's do it.
You
So
like, bitch, are you bipolar? What's
I
going
be
on right now?
I be on 10.
Hang out
I met up with
too.
somebody. I was jumping around. It was like, yo, what is wrong with you? Because listen, I'm trying to find my joy every day. I'm Black and I'm a woman in America. Let me be happy, yo. Let me find my joy. So that's how I maintain my relationships. Because when you see me, we're going to have a good time and you're going to want to see me again. There it is. I'm very confident in that too. Yes.
Boom. As long as they
Boom.
have the food that she wants at the restaurant now, child, because that was an experience.
I am picky. I went out with a friend. He was like, "Oh, this how you are all the time." I was like, yes. And I'm always cool with I'm like, what's your name when the waiter, the waitress come over? So what do you think would be best? What do you like? Everybody's sitting around like, if you don't order the damn food so we can eat.
But it will be fun. She's not lying about that. So have you all seen any changes in your relationships due to the Panasonic picture that we've been living in for the last year? Um, I know that I definitely withdrew a lot and I appreciated my friends that reached out because I'm a person that has depression, I have anxiety. So I am real good at just not speaking. Like you just won't hear from me. I'm fine, but you're just not going to hear from me because I don't have the capacity to one tell you what's going on with me, but two, I don't have the capacity to listen to what's going on with you because something got to give, and I'm at capacity at this point. And you're gonna be telling me stuff, and you're gonna think I'm not interested or I don't care, and it's not that. It's just that I'm trying to hold the marbles together. So, like Tyrese, what more do you want from me? I don't know.
Go in the tile. In the tile.
But yeah, I get very reclusive, so I know that that definitely probably put a strain on a lot of friendships. I was always still like, yeah, girl, I'm rooting for you. Like, this is great. I could definitely, engage with your Instagram story. I'm very big on like engaging with like the accomplishments that people post on social media. But if I'm gonna call you, I don't know. Like that was definitely a thing in the panty that I was just like, I can't call you and talk for hours about the fact that I'm stressed the fuck out that I'm gonna die about behind getting COVID. Remember, I was working at a supermarket, so like every day was just like, is the day today that I'm not gonna have taste or I'm not gonna have this and have to go back and deal with these awful people that are nasty and throwing frozen pizzas at me and shit. Like it was a lot. So I know that for some people probably they felt like maybe I wasn't the best friend that I could have been, and that's probably true. I don't act like I'm above being a shitty friend. Um, But also, I don't know if some of those friendships were people also being concerned, knowing the details that they know about my life and making sure that I was good, you know? So definitely saw some changes. But for the most part, everybody's still around. We still cool and shit. So what about
Okay.
you?
That's it, right? We still cool and shit. Um, I am the kind of friend that needs to be in person. Like I said, I think for me,
Mm,
a lot of people were used to seeing me like, okay, I used to go back to the old neighborhood I lived in. Oh, this person's having a party. Great. This thing. Oh, I'm going to come over, hang out with, Mason. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And, I think I saw people less, right? Like, you know, the pandemic really shut a lot of physical social activities down, and I'm an extrovert. I like to be around people. That's what feeds me. And so not having access to that, sitting in that little room, was torture. It was torture. um I spoke to people on the phone a lot more than I normally do. um but for the most part, I think, like you said, keeping in touch with people via social media. And then, like, but that world of who I actually, like, really truly connected with got even smaller. It was like, I just want to check on these people because I know, or because they know, or because they're really the only people I care about, like, this week or something. So it felt like it shifted for who I cared about, like, from week to week, because like, oh, I wonder what's going on with that person because I saw something on social media and so I called them. Or they sent me a text and I was like, oh, yeah, I want to catch up with them. So it was very random. I mean, the constants were the constants. Um, Oddly enough, the pandemic actually brought me and my cousin, Toogie, closer because she's got 4 kids. She's married. She does real estate. She's going to school. She's got a 9 to 5 job. The real estate is on the side. So, like, she's just as busy. And so, we made a commitment on Sundays to do our family calls. And, I now we're just randomly calling each other on Facebook Messenger with our other cousins. So it's been like a really cool thing. Like, I've reconnected with certain people, one of which was my cousin and my first friend. So who knows what's gonna happen after this, people getting back outside, going back to their lives. Don't call me because I'm not answering. I'm probably out at a happy hour or something or doing something fun.
Um, I don't know if my friendships changed. I am a therapist, so I talk to people all day. So I didn't get in the pandemic to be reclusive in some way, right? Like I was still listening, talking, being attentive to people all day. So I think for the first time in my life, like I just was kind of to myself a little bit more than I generally am. Because when I was done with the day, I was done. Like you could stick a fork in me. I had nothing to say. Like I was on the couch just stuck. Like I don't know what I was watching. I just was tired. So, and then I still had to be somebody's wife. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, this is a lot of work." And there are people who I'm like really close to, so I still had to show up for them. So I think in COVID, I don't think friendship changed for me in any way what it looked like. It just looked a little bit different. Again, similar to Kim, I'm more of a social person. So like I can't wait to see people. Like I'm really excited about that. I've been talking about wanting to prioritize play more. So I'm thinking of doing like a whole relay race situation with friends in the park because I just feel like, why am I not playing more? Like, why am I not in the park more? You know? And so I think I'm gonna put something like that together so I can actually see people. But I didn't really expect too much from people. I didn't expect people to call me. I wasn't mad that I wasn't getting calls, and I know some people was ready to throw friendships away in the pandemic because like you wasn't there for me. People were trying to be there for themselves. Like it got really like where it came down to like me against the world. Like I'm trying to save me every day. Like I'm trying to stay sane every day. I can't really now figure out how I'm gonna help you stay sane for some people. And so I hope that once we come out of that, we can be respectful and then we're not throwing away friendships, guys, because people weren't able to be there for you in ways that they may not have been able to be there for themselves. Because it was a really hard time. We all took it differently, but Yeah, no, I still see my friendships the same way. The expectations I think was different, you know, that support maybe looked a little bit different. That availability, of course, was different. So yeah, I'm not mad. If you ain't call me back, I was cool with it. Cause I probably didn't call you back either. I ain't called somebody back. I'm not sure who, but somebody didn't get a call back. Um, so with that being said, that we are like opening up, the world is opening up, about to be back outside. Are y'all open to making new friends? Cause you know there's people out here who be like, no new friends. I'm not that girl. But Marquia, you gonna be making some new friends?
I meet people all the time. I'm more than willing to get to know folks. I'm not necessarily actively recruiting like a new friend, but
Actively
I'm
recruiting.
open. Like we could be cool. It's still a panty. I got some questions. Do you wear a mask in public? I don't care what the CDC said. You're not telling me that everybody walking past me is vaccinated, bro. So
That's how I live my life, Marquia. The CDC said, and I'm vaccinated. Like, what's good? Do I gotta wear a whole mask outdoors with you or just indoors?
just like, in large crowds of people, that's really more my concern. Like, I'm okay with the, like, getting to the table, taking it down, walking in a group of people, probably putting it on because everyone is not vaccinated. These are lies. Like, people are just not wearing masks because who's going to ask them, can I see your vaccine card? Like, no one. So, yeah, that's my main concern. Like, just please don't breathe on me. And be respectful of my 3 to 6 feet, and maybe we could be friends, possibly.
Hmm. Um, I'm not sure if I'm open to making new friends because I don't know where to find space to maintain them, right? Those
Mm.
friendships. Because is that fair to someone to like, let's do all this stuff and then you don't fit them in to your life if you really mean it? I think sometimes I think what's missing is, when you want to, like Anisha, you said you wanted to be friends with someone. I've never actually really had a discussion of what that means, like to be friends with like this particular person, right? Like you may have a different way that you see things versus me. We have different communication styles. They may clash. How are we going to behave in conflict? You meet a new person, people be cutting people off real quick if it don't work. And
This
you're
is
like,
the
well,
cancel
damn,
culture, honey. You will get cut off in a minute. You call them and you be like, wait, they done blocked you on
ghosted you.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, everything. And you'll be like, what happened? People don't give it no more, it feels like. It feels like that sometimes. The
Yeah.
whole like, I'm cutting you off crap, it's a lot to handle. And I think it's because you just don't have good communication skills where you could just talk to me about what you mad about. Why you gotta cut
Or
me
you
off?
well, if it's new, you don't know how someone's going to react. So I think the communication of how do we be in relationship with each other is very important, right? Like I, um, I think a good example is, I met someone, um, like shortly before the pandemic. We were like texting, like, oh, we should hang out, go to the bar, and we made a plan. Then the pandemic happened, and then I just was like, I don't want to keep texting you because I'm not investing you enough to like this. A text conversation is not it for me because now you my thumbs and I got to think about shit. I don't know how you're going to take it because I don't know you and I can't get to know you on text. And my hair's not done, so I don't want to talk to you on Zoom because, bitch, I don't know you. Like,
So I think the better question is, are you guys open to meeting new people and seeing how they fit in your life? Because that's different from a friend. And I think that that's what we're really talking about, right? Like I can meet you and you could be my bar girl. Like me and you, when it's time to hit happy hour, I'm hitting you up, but I'm not going to have the same expectations that I do of my friends for you. Right. And so maybe the real question is like, are you guys open to meeting new people and seeing how they fit in your life? I'm interested in that question.
Oh, I maintain the same answer. I'm not actively recruiting friends, but I'm open to meeting new people. If you make sense and aren't crazy, that's cool. We can have differing opinions. I actually have a friend, it's a newer friend. It's actually my girl. That's my homie. But she's a Trump supporter, and I was just like, "Ooh," and a black
wait,
person.
what?
Mhm. And there's some stuff that we just don't agree on, and we just don't talk about that shit because it's like, okay, this is not. There's no space for this in our relationship. Like, I know where you stand on this. You know where I stand on this, but we have so much more in common. I never thought I would be like, oh, I'm friends with a Trump supporter, but it's probably the black that gives her more, of an edge than, let's say, like a white person that was a Trump supporter. Because at least we have
Do
that
she
the
listen to
base.
this podcast?
She might. That's
All
fine.
right, I'm gonna be quiet. No, I'm gonna be quiet. It's okay.
But yeah, like we're really cool. Like that's my homie. Like she checks in on me regularly. She makes sure that I'm good. So like on the requirements of what a friendship looks like, she's my friend. I don't give a fuck. If you know, that's not even an issue anymore because that man's not eligible to be president, at least for right now. Um, but I'm open to meeting people, but I'm not necessarily like, hey, be my friend, want ad on my Instagram page. No.
I'm
So,
not.
okay, so if we're not that interested right now, how do we know when a friendship is worth saving? Because I think that that came up in COVID for some people, that question around like, should I try and save this thing?
Mm. I think you have to evaluate based on your values. Like our friend, so if your friendship has changed, right? Something has happened, and either of you have having kept the pace of the friendship or discussed what does this new friendship looks like, maybe due to your life changes or my life changes, or you're just like, hey, some things you're not communicating something, and they may be acting out and you don't know. So I think it's all based on communication. And also just like, does this person feed me? Are they in alignment with my values? Do I feel good when I'm around them? Like, what, not what purpose do they serve, because people don't serve purposes, but for the purpose of a friendship, is this person worth me all the effort that I'm going to need to do to continue to maintain this friendship?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I mentioned earlier, if I'm not watering dead plants, so if you're not pouring into this relationship, if you're not able to show up for me, if you're not able to support me, and I've done that for you, then we need to. Well, I need to decide if this is worth my time and energy. You may feel it's great because I'm pouring into you and I'm celebrating you, but if you're not doing the same for me, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, because that's energy I could pour back into myself. Um, and trust, like I'm sure listening to them probably sounds harsh. I'm not selfish. Anyone that knows me probably will tell you that. But the older I've gotten, I've just gotten more protective of my energy. So everyone is just not deserving of that. And that's okay. We can still be cool. Like I said, it's no beef. You could just be my homegirl now. Maybe not my friend. I'm not gonna tell you everything that I used to tell you before. And that's okay. Like things happen. People go in different buckets and you just gotta keep pushing.
I love that, Marquia, because sometimes I tell people, like, you don't have to go in and be like, oh, we can't be friends. No, maybe it just looks different, right? So maybe I don't need to pick up the phone. Maybe I don't pick up the phone as much as I used to, right? Maybe we don't see each other as much as we used to. But when we see each other, we can still have a great time. It's
Mhm.
just not as often, right? Like it can just look different. I think people are so quick to cut people like straight out their life. Do you really need to cut someone out their life, out your life? Or can you let them know how you feel, right? And if they are open to making the proper changes, then that's what you guys will do. But is it worth it, you making this big deal of cutting someone out your life? But as far as worth saving, I think that if there is genuine love there, and you can continue to be authentic with me and show me your authentic self, whatever that is, and I am willing to see you and hear you, um, then I'm worth saving it. I think it's worth saving if the communication is good. Again, it comes back to communication, right, Kim? You said it earlier. Can I talk to you? Can we talk about what's going on? That's how I'll know whether it's worth saving. If you're not interested in talking to me about it, then it's not worth saving because I can't be in relationship with you if you can't verbalize what's going on and you can't acknowledge what your part that the part that you've played in things. So I think I need that. I need some acknowledgement. You can't do that. I might
Hmm.
have to call it.
You
So we
know,
Mhm.
go ahead, Marquia.
No, go ahead.
Sorry.
Nope, you got it.
I was just gonna say it. It sounds like there's just so many layers to sisterhood and friendship,
Oh God, is it?
and making discerning that, because when you're a young person, you have different ideas and values about what that means. And then, you get into those other years where life changes and transitions and things happen and you go through things and do people grow with you, or do they outgrow you, or do you outgrow each other? I think it's, yes, it's communication, but it's also like figuring out like where do I want these people to be in my life, and it's making that kind of decision for yourself about sometimes you have to evaluate the people in your life. Like, damn, because things happen gradually. And it's not until it comes to a head sometimes that you realize a friendship is toxic. But how many times before that was it toxic? And it wasn't until it came to like some point, some flash point that you're like, oh shit, this is bad, you know? And we just, because we brush things off. Friendship. Oh, that's such and such. Oh, yeah.
That's
And
just
then
how
it
they
becomes
are.
like an issue.
Mhm. You excuse the behavior repetitively, and then when it comes to a situation where you can't, deal with it anymore, then it's like that's where I think where people get confused, where it's like all of a sudden you just cut them off, and maybe it wasn't communicated, but I do think that both parties kinda know when you get to that point that the shit wasn't working. Um, but that's just my, 2 pennies, or 2 Virgils, if you all know that reference. But
Eh,
either so yeah, ladies, we definitely touched on a lot of things this afternoon, or whenever you all are listening to this. What are some tools that we can give to the audience to let them know? I think the main one is definitely communication, for sure. But what else can we offer up?
I think be honest. Be honest with yourself about what you want and what you need out of a relationship from this person. And I think that be honest with them. I think that that is going to take you guys really far. Yeah, listen to you, listen to your mind, your body. Like, I think that some people, when you are around them, they make you feel a certain way. Listen to that. What is that feeling like? Is that a pleasant feeling? Is that unpleasant? Like, what is that? So, just kind of really being honest with yourself and honest with the other person. It's going to be important.
Um, I would say, just we're talking about friendships, so things that are in existence already. Set some time aside to just do some reflection. I think that's important. Like, me and Anisha have been friends for 20 plus years. We don't think about everything we've been through or we've gone through, all our experiences. It's not until those moments that we talk about, like, oh my God, we've been friends that long. Like, you got to have those moments where you're reflecting back on the relationship, whether it's, and Chanel would send me a text like, remember this thing that happened, and then we'll laugh. And so I think you kind of always have to like just reflect because so much happens across, time that you forget more than you remember about a friend or a person or that you're in relationship with.
And that relationship should not always feel heavy, right? If there is not a lot of light moments and fun, joyous moments, you got to really rethink that relationship. And that's why the self reflection becomes really important. So,
And I think to piggyback off of that, I would say just remember that growth is okay. So, in that, like, your friendships might change, what they look like might change. It doesn't mean that that's not your friend anymore or any of that, but be mindful of that. And like, there may be times when you fall out temporarily and you come back together, and that's okay. But just remembering that growth is normal and it is okay. So, thank you, ladies, for your time. And even those at home listening to us, this was fun. If you want to know more about Black Women Be Whole, you can find us on the interwebs. Y'all probably may have missed our sweepstakes that we had when we gave away a T-shirt. Y'all should follow us so you can find out about stuff like that. Find us on Instagram at Black Women Be Whole, as well as on Facebook. And be on the lookout for our 4-week online course that will be coming up so you can get working on your healing. So you can also be a Black woman working on being whole and be like us. So we hope to see you soon on the internet. Chat with us, comment, like, share, subscribe. We don't have a YouTube. Well, we do have a YouTube channel, don't we, Kim? Where you
We
can catch.
do. It's not getting the TLC it needs though, so we should be working on it soon.
So comment, like, share, subscribe. Welcome to our channel. All that YouTube influencer shit that people say. And check us out there too. So we'll catch you next episode.
bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.